Welcome to the Single Moms with Power podcast, where we help to educate, celebrate, and empower single moms. I'm your host, Nicole Harris, and today we'll be talking about raising a special needs child as a single parent. I felt like this was important because it's something that we know, but we don't talk about so much. Like, we know people that have special needs children, and we may even have them in our family, but we don't really talk about them, especially the single moms and how they feel on a day-to-day basis, and how, it is just their lives. So we'll be talking about that, and my guest knows all too well of what that life consists of because she lives it every single day. But wait, I just want to give you a little bit of background before you start feeling sorry for her. She is a native of Ohio. She is an Army vet. She is a retired government worker, and she is a life coach. So I want you guys to please welcome my incredibly smart and beautifully gifted powerhouse of a friend and sister, Tascha Stith.
Wow. Well, good Lord. Thanks, Nikki. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So let's get right into it. I said that you were an Army vet, and just tell me a little bit about that. And I'm kind of guessing that you met your daughter Jasmine there. I'm sorry, you met your daughter's father. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, first, before we start, let me tell you congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I am so happy for you. You've been talking about single moms with power now for what? A year, two?
More
and we
than
just
that.
kept talking about it and talking about it, and now you have really birthed this thing. So I'm really, really happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you, and I'm glad you asked me to come on.
Thank you.
My story. Yes, I did 17 years in the military. The way my military life was a little bit different. I did 13 and 7, and then I retired. Okay. My 7 was with the State Highway Patrol. I retired because I had a disabled daughter, and yes, I met my daughter's father. Yeah, my daughter's father while serving in the Army.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So, how was that? Like, did you guys get married? Did you guys just, kind of kick it, and then you got pregnant with Jazz, or?
Well, you're really going down memory
I
lane,
mean,
aren't
come
you?
on,
Really?
come on.
Yes. We dated for a while. Decided to get married.
Okay.
He decided he didn't want to be married. At that time, I was pregnant with my daughter. We separated, went our separate ways. He went on to have another family, and I relocated while I was pregnant to Ohio with my mom now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, when did you discover that you had a child with special needs?
Probably right after she was born,
Okay.
but more so when she wasn't doing a lot of things right after birth. When I had her, she had her eyes were crossed, so that was a clear indication, that something was wrong. Her eyes turned all the way into her nose.
Wow.
As kids go through development stages, and she wasn't meeting any of them. She was in and out of the hospital over and over and over. Our life pretty much was in the hospital.
Right.
They knew her name, and that's what we did. So it was pretty much right away.
Okay.
And it was really my dad. My dad's not here anymore, but my dad made a statement to me, and that statement was, whatever you do, I want you to take care of this baby. Well, my dad knows he has 2 daughters, me and my sister, and we're going to, I never had any children. My sister has 3. We're going to take care of our kids. But that statement stuck with me. And I didn't know why he said it, but he knew right away that something was wrong. I would say, honestly, that I was probably in denial. So.
Okay. Well, so what about her dad?
What about him?
he no support, no like what was
No,
going on?
I don't talk to him,
Mm,
and that's really by choice.
okay.
Things didn't go well with us. Um, I had Jasmine by myself. I've raised Jasmine by myself, and we don't have any dealings. He doesn't help or anything. When Jasmine turned 18, child support stopped, and that was pretty much it.
So, okay, let's back up a little bit. So you said that, you know, your whole like basically most of Jasmine's life was in the hospital.
Yes.
So kind of tell us what that's like, because see, what I'm trying to I guess get across is just the day in the life of when, you know, Jasmine was born to every day, like being in the hospital. You had to retire from your job because, you know, you had to, you know, go to the hospital. You had to put your child and her health first. So how did you, you know, how were you a highway patrol person?
Yes.
And you know, you writing tickets, but you have a disabled child. You know, you were a vet, so a lot of times people think that, you know, oh well, she's a retired vet, so, you know, she should have been able to get a job easily, and, you know, the government will be able to supplement, you know, that part or whatever. So you getting a job was easy, but you still had to, you know, kind of, I hate the word deal with, but you still had to, you know, take care of your disabled special needs child.
It was a little bit different for me
Mm-hmm.
because when I left her father and I moved to Ohio, I got a job with the state of Ohio. So when I showed up at work, they thought I was just a big girl because all I had was this little bump in the front, but it wasn't a pregnant looking bump. It was like maybe I had gained some weight, you know? And no offense to anyone, so I hope no one takes offense, but that's, you know, they literally told me that they had no idea I was pregnant.
Okay.
So with me carrying the weight, that means to me they thought I was just a heavy-set lady,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I started my job, and 3 months after starting my job with the state of Ohio, I went on medical leave.
Okay.
And that's, like I said, they said, oh, you were pregnant. Well, yeah. So I leave to have my daughter, and I go back to work, but she's sick all the time. They're calling me to come get her. I'm taking her back and forth to the doctors every day. I mean, not every day. Let me correct myself. Not every day, but more like a weekly basis.
Okay.
It was ear infections. It was breathing. It was all kinds of things.
What did they diagnose her as having?
In the beginning, they just said she was developmentally delayed.
Okay.
Okay, that's what they said in the beginning. But then she started having seizures. And so with the seizures, so our first long stint in the hospital was just different things of ear infections and breathing and asthma and just different things. Like normally you would say a child would get sick every so often. They'll catch a cold, or if they're a baby, they might get like colic or something. But that wasn't the case. Jasmine was crying and she was fussy, you know, and she was always running a temperature, and things just weren't normal. I was calling my sister, you know, because she wouldn't stop crying one night. And, you know, the first thing they want to tell you back in the day was some 7-Up and some baking soda because they got colic. Right. No, that didn't work. She just cried even more. So now, you know, it was just, things just weren't right. And I was at work, and during my time with work, it was, they were calling. Tasha, you got to come get the baby. Tasha, you got to come get the baby. Tasha, you got to come get the baby. Right at that time, they had started that program called FMLA, Family Medical Leave, and that's pretty much what saved me.
Okay.
Because I was missing work on a regular basis, or I would come to work and I would have to leave work, you know? It was all the time.
So that went on for 7 years, those 7 years?
That went on, no, because that went on. That whole thing about her being sick, yes, that went on up until Jasmine really stopped going to a doctor on a regular basis, like so much when she was probably, I've been here since 2005, so since 2009.
Okay.
But up until 2009, we were at the doctors all the time. 2009, she had just had brain surgery. So they removed a part of her brain. And when they did that, we moved here after 2 years of the surgery. We moved to Texas.
Okay.
And we moved to Texas. Her doctors treated her. She was finally able to come off medicine. She's doing much better, things like that. But in the beginning, it wasn't like that. Not at all. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
Trying to go to work, trying to take care of her, not getting no sleep. It was tough.
So you just decided, you know what? I'm just going to start doing things on my own and for myself and by myself. So is that when like the entrepreneur spirit kicked in, or did you just
No, I kind of always had that. I was not a person that enjoyed working for someone else. I never enjoyed that. My military life was different because with the military, I could travel. I could see, do all kinds of different things, meet all kinds of people. So it was different. But when I went to work for the state, I realized, wow, I really don't have the freedom that I like doing. Military is a little bit different than a regular job because even though you work and you're grinding and you're in the field and you're all kinds of stuff, they still believe in giving you time, so that you can breathe, so that you can recover, so that you can focus. They believe in that. That's why they call the military a party life, because they do believe in giving you that. But when you're working for the state, it's not that way. You get up, you go to work 9 to 5, you get off, you do the same thing over and over and over again. And I didn't like that.
Okay.
And I didn't like it really because I lacked sleep. Once I had her, everything changed. See, the military, I could sleep. I can't sleep now and I have Jasmine. So that's when things change. And I realized I just didn't like it. I needed to be able to focus and take care of Jasmine. And worrying about how people are treating me at the job wasn't helping me.
So in the spirit of that entrepreneurship, you decided to go out on a limb and write a book about your experience with you and Jasmine, entitled How We Did It. And I remember you going on a book tour. Actually, I remember when the book came out, and then you were going on a book tour and you went from city to city, and it was awesome. Tell me a little bit more about that experience.
The book tour took me in different places. The book tour kind of made me really think about other people outside of me and Jasmine. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, but when special needs parents, 90% of them are secluded.
Okay.
And that's because they don't always feel like they fit in. Now, this is just my experience. Okay. And people that I've dealt with. They don't always feel like they fit in. They don't always want to explain the certain circumstances that what's going on with their child. Those are not things that they like to talk about. They want to feel normal sometime, and it's not that way.
Right.
Everybody else's kids are bouncing off the wall, but you have to watch this one because if she makes one fall, you're back in the hospital.
Okay.
Everybody's over here and they're having a good time and they're playing, but you're kind of sitting over here with the kid because you can't really do a lot.
Right.
Because you got to make sure that they're okay. And so you kind of start to become secluded. And what happened was when on the book tour, it made me realize that it was really, 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 really much more than me. I was kind of down and I was kind of feeling sorry for myself and I was kind of feeling all alone because I was doing it all alone.
Right.
That I was doing it all alone.
So but wait, pause. How was your dating life?
What?
With you doing it all alone? I'm sure that, guys were like approaching you or whatever and trying to date you, and you probably have gone out on dates. How is it when you meet somebody, you like them, you've been dating for a while, do you just on the first, soon as you talk to them, do you say, hey, I have a special needs child, or do you, kind of wait a little bit until you kind of, get a chance to really, really know that person, and then you talk to them about it? I mean, how does that go? How does the dating life go for as single mom with a special needs child?
I'm laughing, and I shouldn't be laughing, but it made me think about right before I moved here. There was this guy I really liked, and I had been celibate and single for 12 years.
Okay.
I opted that choice. I didn't want to explain. I didn't want to invite people over, because if you came to my house, you had to wash your hands and, all this sanitary stuff, because she was so sick. So I didn't want to explain. I didn't take her out. I didn't never, let me tell you about my daughter before. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
But I dated this guy 12 years after my celibacy. And I remember like 4 or 5 months later, I said, well, I have a daughter, and she has a disability. He says, you never talked about your daughter. I said, because I didn't know if you was going to be around.
Right.
I didn't invite you to my house. I wasn't doing, stuff like that. I would, go out and meet and have dinner and things like that. But when I finally told him, he wanted to meet her. And when he met her, it was good.
Okay.
But we didn't last. And see, that was the things that I was worried about.
Okay.
I didn't want to introduce different people in and out of her life just so I would feel good.
Okay.
I didn't want to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to know, like, from your perspective, how that is now continuing on the dating scene. I'm sure that you have had long-term relationships.
I have.
And that, I guess, the dating life long-term with Jasmine, how was that? I mean, now, obviously, I wouldn't say obviously, but you're not with anybody now.
No.
You are single.
I am single.
Because there is a difference. Single with a boyfriend, single, whatever.
No, I'm single.
So you are, but when, I'm not going to ask about your last relationship, but I think I'm just asking, I think I'm not. I'm just trying to get to, like, the breakup. How was Jasmine when you had to tell her that such and such is not coming back around? I mean,
well, it's okay. I dated a guy that I'd known for a long time, and he came back in my life, and I was happy, and Jasmine liked him. And when things didn't work out, and I told him that he wasn't coming around anymore, she would ask me. She would say, is such and such, coming over, or is he coming back? And I had to tell her one day. So no, actually what I did one day is I called him and I said, can you do me a favor? Can you answer this question for her? And I said, Jasmine, ask me what you just asked me. And she said it again, but now he's on the phone. And she says, are you coming back? Because I wanted him to tell her that he wasn't coming back.
Okay.
But he lied and told her, yeah. But he knew he wasn't, because he knew we were on our way apart.
Right.
It's dating life is not easy, unless you decide that. Well, this is what I think about dating life. I think before you decide that to introduce your child to someone, make sure that you really like them and that they really like you. Some people say, well, you should just tell them up front and see if they like your kid. But I don't agree with that, because in my case, because Jasmine processes things different, right? I don't want to have to take the extra to explain something to her that she didn't really have to be a part of.
Okay.
Because if it wasn't going to, if I had taken some time, 3-4 months, and got to 6 months, sometimes it takes longer, to get to know them, I could pretty much say, okay, you can meet my daughter. I don't, well, I'm not a big dater, and you know this about me. So now we're on air. I'm not a big dater, okay? I'm kind of not, this is my title for me. I'm not marriage material. And that doesn't mean, that means because I choose and I don't want to be married. I'm a good person. I just don't want that life for me, because I've done it already.
No more?
No more. I've done it. I've been married twice. See, I married my daughter's father. That didn't work. I got married 2007. I was married for 2 years. It didn't work. It's me. A part of it's me. And it's because I don't want to be married.
Okay.
There's this lady that does a TV show. Shonda Rhimes, I think, is who wrote the show. She was on this talk show, and she said, when I tell people I don't want to be married, they say, why don't you want to be married? And when she gave the answer, it reminded me of me. We go to school, we get good grades, we go to college, we get a job, right?
Right.
We find the man of our dreams, we get the white picket fence, and we get the house.
Right.
That's what everybody tells you.
Right. That's
But-
the matrix. But
Right.
go ahead.
But if it doesn't work for you, then you end up unhappy. So for me, married life wasn't something that made me happy. I wasn't this person out there desiring, let me get the picket fence. I just thought that I was supposed to be married because that's what you're supposed to do. But that's not my personality. I like being single, right? Do I enjoy all the struggles of raising my daughter? Well, it's not so bad now because she's about to be 25. So you're talking about a child that they said is not going to live to see 10, who's now about to be 25. She's an adult.
Right.
So she gets to go and do more things without me, and all that stuff. So I now enjoy living my life. And the life that I live, it may one day fit in with someone else, with me, but right now it doesn't.
Right.
So I enjoy being single.
But you're still open.
I enjoy being single.
But you're still open.
I'm still open. You're trying to marry me
no,
off.
No, I'm not trying to marry you off. I'm just saying don't close the door to, possibilities. If you date it once, you can date again and again and again. I just think that the right person has not come along. And I've always said that you need to continue to do what you do. You need to continue to follow your path, follow your dreams, or whatever you need to do. And that person, God will bring that person right into it, and it'll just feel like breathing. It'll feel like, like this person just fit like a puzzle piece. It just fit. You didn't have to force it. You didn't have to, keep arguing. Then after so many years, okay, we're going to do this because we've been together for so many years. No, it'll just fit. And you'll know when, it's time to take that next step. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, just don't close the door. Although you are doing your thing and you are doing amazing things like real estate. We need to talk about that. But yeah, just don't close the door to an opportunity that God may have for you. So with real estate,
I'll receive that.
Okay.
I'll receive that.
Okay.
I'll receive
Okay.
that.
You-
I won't say
you know
anything
I'm-
else. I'll just receive
You know
that.
I'm the coach. So
Okay, coach.
Okay. So, but yeah, let's talk about what you're doing now, and that is real estate. And every time when someone says real estate, this woman just beams, like her eyes just light up. She went from being a real estate investor to now a real estate developer.
That would be me.
Yes, it is. It is you. It is you. So let's talk
man.
about that.
Real estate, that's my thing. I absolutely love real estate. Love it. Love it. I started out being an investor. It was hard. Being an
Okay.
investor was hard because it was new.
Okay.
Okay. Lost a lot of money, but learned a lot in the process, and put up 2 beautiful houses from my being an investor.
Amen.
And because of the job that I did with an investor, I had people start talking to me about land and stuff that they owned. And that's how the opportunity came, because there were different people that I was meeting out in the field. Whether it be my flooring guy, whether it be my bathroom people, whether it be my cabinet people, they just started talking to me, and they wanted to, talk to me about land they own. And the opportunity for me to become a green builder happened for me.
Okay.
And so I love real estate. And now I'm building green, and I'm building affordable, and I have a big opportunity that's coming, and when I sign on the dotted line, I'll let you know. So
Okay.
I'm really excited about real estate.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And so, and you're also doing things with the vets. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, we have a nonprofit. And my nonprofit company allows me to help special needs adults
Okay.
and disabled vets. which also helps with the real estate, because as far as the real estate goes, we're going to do a 55-acre development
All right.
for special needs adults. So it all kind of came together. The last house we just sold, we didn't get what we wanted for it, but we got to sell it to a disabled veteran.
Nice.
How awesome is that?
That is nice.
You know, we went to the title company to close, and she was like, Tascha, you did it. I said, I did what, Lisa? She said, you did what you said you were going to do. You sold it to a disabled vet. So that's what we try to make our first sales to our veterans. Okay.
Cool.
Rather, you know, we try to take care of our vets first, and then the special needs community, helping them. So the nonprofit supports special needs and disabled veterans with
awesome.
the long-term goal to build the 55-acre residential living center.
Vets helping vets. See,
Yeah.
look at that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I guess one of the last questions that I want to ask you is, what would your advice be to a mom with a child with a special need and or disability? What would your advice be for them? Of course, you know, keep going, keep moving, you know, this is your life, da 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 da. But, you know, what would you say that and this is what I do all the time, so I just keep going with questions and
That's okay. I'm gonna try to put them together for you.
But I mean, I guess it's just, I have so many questions, we have so little time, but I just need to know, like, what kind of advice would you give that person, that woman?
Well, the book, when I first wrote the book, I used what everybody had told me and what helped me. And one of the ladies reminded me at a seminar when I was speaking, because I was doing a public, when I was doing the book tour. She got really angry with me, and because it was always told that God will never give you more than you can bear. You got to trust and believe that if he gave you this child, he'll make a way for you to take care of this child. Well, I grew up with my grandma in church, my aunts, my mom, my family. Those that went to church, those are the ones that instilled in me. But I went to church one time, and this lady said to me, it takes a special person to raise a special child.
All right.
That stuck with me. But it also says this, to make it, try to make it simple. Because someone tells you what you can't do, don't believe that. You can do anything. For me, it was getting all the literature. It was going every floor I was on in the hospital, every room I stopped by in the hospital. If it was something that I could read for myself and learn for myself, I did it. My thing to all moms out there, whether you have a normal child or a special needs child, they're all going to give you some kind of challenges.
Okay.
They do.
They do.
They're just, your special needs kids are just a little bit more challenging. That's why they got that label of special needs. But if you honestly stick to everything that you believe, not what I tell you, not what somebody else tells you, but what you believe, what's deep inside of you, the core of your being, you can do anything.
I heard that.
You can do anything. That's not just that guru talk, as they like to say. I'm telling you, because I lived that life every single day.
I know
they
that's
told
right.
me that she wasn't going to live to see 10. Like I said, she's about to be 25.
25.
You know her.
Yeah,
she
I
wouldn't
know.
even talk to you before.
I know.
Now, for moms, I just say to you, don't let somebody steal your joy.
All right.
Don't let the troubled things that are going on with your child take away your joy. When you have it inside of you, it'll come out of you. And when it comes out of you, you're able to give it to the child for what they need. And each and every day, no matter what it is that you give them, know that you're giving them exactly what they need, not what somebody else thinks they need. Because you are the mom. You're the person with the instinct. And as long as you have it in you, you can do anything.
I heard that.
You can do anything.
I heard that. Well, I thank you so much for being a part.
Having me.
I thank you so much for being a part of this, and this Single Moms with Power movement. I think that you are just one of the most powerful women that I have ever met in my entire life. Honestly, I really, really do.
Thank you so much.
And can you tell people how they can get in contact with you?
Oh, they can email me at tashainc@gmail.com, or they can go to my Facebook page, Tascha Inc., my Facebook page, and they can send me a message. And I'll do my best to answer questions if they have questions. I don't pretend to know it all, but I went to school to be a certified coach, so I can try to help you or even steer you in the right place.
That's
And
all.
just to, even if I'm just able to give you some encouragement and tell you, believe with all your heart. Just believe. And that's what makes the difference.
And that's it. And that's all. And if you guys don't mind, subscribe, like, share this Facebook Live, I guess, podcast that we're doing right now. And if you want to get in contact with me, I am on Facebook, Single Moms with Power. And I'm also on Instagram, Single Moms with Power, but it has underscores under everything. So it's single underscore moms underscore, So I thank all of you for being a part of this. Please share this. We're trying to get this out because single moms matter. And this is a movement for all single moms. My mission, my why is just to get it out there, to let single moms know, hey, you are not alone in this. You are awesome. You have other moms that are ready and willing to cheer you on. And we have to support each other. And I think that it's time that we start doing that. I don't care what age you are. If you have a child, I don't care if you are married and now you're divorced, you're a single mom. I don't care if you have a husband that's over and fighting the war, and you feel like a single mom. Guess what? 9 times out of 10, you're going to think like a single mom. And so you are a single mom. Those that never got married, you already know what it's like. So don't let anybody talk down to you. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. You just heard a single mom right now. She's an Army vet, and she has a special needs daughter. But all of the things that she has accomplished and still accomplishing, you already know that if she can do it, you can do it too. So I just wanted to give everybody that, that little nugget, that little, thing. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.